Do you know a place called Sodom and Nigeria? Most people know the story of a different place called Sodom and Gomorrah and how God revealed to Abraham that he will destroy the cities because of their grave sins. Abraham, knowing his nephew Lot and his family lived there, pleads with God for the lives of any righteous people living there. He says to God, "Will you spare the city for the sake of 50 righteous people?" And God responds in the affirmative. Abraham repeats the same question, asking if there were 45 righteous people, would God spare the cities? And God again replied in the affirmative. Abraham negotiates this all the way to 10 righteous people, and God still said, for the sake of 10 righteous people, he will spare Sodom and Gomorrah. 2 angels are sent to Lot in Sodom but are met with a wicked mob who are then struck blind by the angels. Finding only Lot and his family as righteous among the inhabitants, the angels warn Lot to quickly evacuate the city and to not look back. As they flee the destruction, Lot's wife looks back upon the city and is turned into a pillar of salt. Lot's wife, instead of looking forward to the hope and glory of her deliverance and salvation, looked back towards her past. She contemplated upon all she will give up for an unknown calling. Sodom was bad, but for her a bird in hand is the only bird. For her the demon you know is better than the angel you don't know, and so she perished. What was the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, and why did God destroy them? Some have postulated that it was the sin of homosexuality. The mob of men that accosted the angels had demanded of Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we may know them." Many have interpreted this as carnal knowledge, and many believe that it is the widespread homosexuality of the inhabitants that ends their destruction. Other biblical references to Sodom and Gomorrah, including Jude chapter 1 verse 7, which mentions sexual immorality and unnatural lust, and the abominable hints of Ezekiel 16:50, lend credence to this view. There's another school of thought that believes that their sin was their lack of hospitality, and this seems to be supported by the words of Yahushua in Matthew 10:14 and 15. "And whosoever shall not receive you nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust off your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city." Yet, a third school of thought aligns with Ezekiel 16:49, which says, "Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister, Sodom, pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy." So in addition to homosexuality, lack of hospitality, which implies a lack of love, Sodom was also destroyed because her inhabitants were idle, spent most of their time on social media, didn't care for or help the poor in spite of their abundance. They were also proud and committed abomination before the Lord. For these reasons, God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. So what will God do to Sodom and Nigeria, a place where everything that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah happens and more? In Sodom and Nigeria, the rulers hate those they rule. They steal from them and burden them with taxes, even though they don't give them anything in return. They implement policies that afflict the populace and break the back of the poor. They unleash foreign terrorists on their people as an occupying army. Most of the population are hungry and nobody cares for them. The youths are idle, live on social media, and Yahoo is the fad for some. Mothers sell their children, grandmothers prostitute their grandchildren, and fathers sleep with their daughters. The people cheat and steal from each other, and everyone blames everyone for what everyone is doing. Kidnapping is a national sport, and the streets flow with the blood of the innocent as human life means nothing to both old and young. Some churches in Sodom and Nigeria worship money, prosperity, and miracles, and men of God have become idols as big billboards with their images adorn the streets. Dear Lord, if you destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for less, what will you do to Sodom and Nigeria? It appears that your hand of judgment is already upon this land. And just as Abraham pleaded for Sodom and Gomorrah, I plead for Nigeria. I ask that mercy overrule judgment, O Lord. My Father, you might not find 1,000,000 righteous people here. You might not find 100 righteous people here. And you might not find 2 righteous people here. But you will find your son, Yehoshua, here. His blood is all that matters. Look away from our perfidy, idolatry, wickedness, and look at your son, Jesus. Have mercy on us for his sake. Spare us for his sake. For our sake he walked to Calvary. For our sins he died a sinful death, that you may forever behold him and not us. Father, look at your son and have mercy on Nigeria. Spare us the judgment of Sodom because of Yehoshua. Hear the cry of your son on the cross and deliver this nation and our world from judgment. Deliver us from our wicked ruler. Deliver us from bad leaders. Deliver us from murderers and kidnappers. Deliver us from the judgment of war. Cleanse the wickedness of our hearts and renew us with the love of Christ. This is my prayer,